Parliament, you know, to commemorate the event. Of course, together with roundtables, with conferences, with exhibitions, encounters with survivors, open lessons, and some other activities, especially to remember, you know, what happened during those very tragic years and the lessons to be learned. Also, in 2006, we took the decision to build a Holocaust memorial in Bucharest, and in 2006, the President of Romania, was present when we opened, you know, when we inaugurated, you know, the place where the Holocaust memorial will be built, and we really hope this year in October, again with the opportunity of 9th of October, the monument to be ready and the President to attend the ceremony of opening the monument. There is a very strong cooperation between Romania and many institutions who are dealing with Holocaust and anti-Semitism. I underline already the support received from Yad Vashem. We are also very grateful to the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, because they are helping us to teach history of Holocaust at National Defense College. I would like to say a few words about the last parliamentary elections, because in Romania something very good happened, you know, in November. The extremist parties lost the parliament. Practically, we are for the first time since 1990 when we do not have any extremist party in the parliament. Those who are familiar with Romania know that we had quite big problems with the so-called Great Romania Party, right-wing party. They lost the elections, which is a very strong signal coming from the public opinion in Romania and from the population, because all the extremist parties have been rejected, you know, in their claim for getting a place in the parliament, and I think this is very important. It's very important that we have legislation to condemn negationists. Those who are denying Holocaust are now punished by law. Of course, there are some problems on how to enforce this law and how to be applied, and somebody stressed this morning that this is an area where we continue to need to work, and any assistance and support is very welcome. And finally, I would like to say that we continue to be very supportive to the State of Israel, as we have been up to now as a NATO and EU member. Finally, there are some lessons to be learned. I think that they have been mentioned by many predecessors, so I will not insist on them. International cooperation is very important, but it's very important at the level of each country to understand what I said at the beginning, that anti-Semitism, together with bad governance, poverty, and populism, could destroy countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Foltran. I draw from that two very interesting points: a publication about Holocaust, the fact that even in the equivalent of West Point or in the Royal Defence College here it's taught, and then this important discussion about Holocaust denial, which is not, in my judgment, a matter of free speech, but is actually a criminal act of anti-Semitism in and of itself. It's a tricky subject, I agree with you, but I think it's very interesting to hear the positive initiatives the Romanian government and parliament are taking. I'm going to hand back to my colleague John Mann. As you go out for lunch, or when you leave, a copy of my little book, just published 2 or 3 months ago, called Globalizing Hatred: The New Anti-Semitism, which was inspired from the committee of inquiry that I chaired, which John asked me to help set up, is there for you. Please take it home, give it to publishers, get it translated, borrow it into Latvia, and I'll come and introduce it for you in Riga. So please feel free to use that and just keep spreading that message from an English parliamentarian who had 2 very Catholic parents, so I don't have the honour of being Jewish. So there you are, Monsieur Asselin. I can't share your uniqueness. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. I'll have my copy signed, please. Can I thank everyone for their contributions during the morning, and many more this afternoon. I know we'll be hearing from, amongst others, from Turkey, from Tunisia, from Austria, and many more this afternoon. But we've had a minister from the United Kingdom, we've had a minister from the Czech Republic, both taken the time to come and speak to us. We're immensely grateful for both of that. And we have a third minister to conclude the morning session, a man who's helped shape the debate on Durban in a larger way than anyone in this room. I'd like to welcome Jason Kenney from Canada.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci bien pour votre collaboration. Et j'aimerais commencer en félicitant John et ses collègues pour avoir organisé cette colloque historique et très important. And I'd like to also commend my Canadian colleague, Erwin Codler, for his important role in organizing this conference. I'd also like to note the presence of a substantial number of my Canadian parliamentary colleagues who are here. Members of Parliament Carolyn Bennett, Ramon Folco, Hedy Fry, Randy Hoback, James Lunny, Joyce Murray, Anita Neville, Bob Ray, and Scott Reid. We almost have a quorum for the House of Commons here assembled. We came from not a close distance. And I'd also like to acknowledge, of course, my good friend, Senator Jerry Grafstein. I hope that this forum will be the beginning of an ongoing process of educating and mobilizing parliamentarians throughout the world, and through them political formations across the spectrum, and indeed national governments, to combat the scourge of anti-Semitism. I also hope that this will be the beginning, not the end, of this important work. And to that end, I know that my Canadian colleagues and I would be delighted to host the next conference of the Inter-parliamentary Commission in Canada. Yeah. Now, we'll have to return to Canada, John, and just formalize that and figure out exactly how it will be done. But you've got a good number of Canadians here who would be delighted to see this important work across the Atlantic. Ladies and gentlemen, in November, during a trip to Kiev, I paid my respects at the Babyn Yar Holocaust site, where more than 33,000 Ukrainian Jews were slaughtered by the Nazis over a two-day period in 1941. For me, this brought to mind a new dimension of the unfathomable evil of the Holocaust. Babyn Yar was not about the mechanized and perversely discreet killing of the gas chambers. Here, men in uniform lined up and shot 33,000 individual human beings, one by one, non-stop, over a period of 2 days. Even for those who were just following orders, there had to be some deep blackness in their hearts, some hatred that allowed them to dehumanize the innocent individual human beings who they shot down one by one. A few weeks ago, I was in Mumbai, India, where I went to visit Chabad's Nariman House. I was literally sickened, walking through the debris, seeing the blood-splattered walls, to stand in the place where Rabbi Gavriel Holzberg and his wife Rivka were tortured and slaughtered. As I later looked out on Mumbai from the rooftop of Chabad House, I marveled to think that in this huge, teeming city of 20 million, the killers had meticulously, deliberately sought out to target this one rather obscure, peaceful place and this particular man and his family. Why did they do so? Because, and only because, they were Jews. And as such, because they represented all of the Jews. 68 years and thousands of miles separate the ravine of Babyn Yar from the debris of Nariman House. But these places are connected by the same uniquely durable and pernicious evil of anti-Semitism. Even peaceful and pluralistic Canada sees signs that this evil is newly resurgent. The 2007 audit of anti-Semitic incidents by B'nai B'rith, Canada's League for Human Rights, recorded over 1,000 reported anti-Semitic incidents, up by 11% from the previous year, and also reflecting a doubling in the number of reported incidents over the past 5 years. Just the day, Friday, as I was boarding the flight for London, as a simple, concrete example of this new environment, one page of one of our national newspapers, 2 articles, one about Jewish university students at one of our major universities